Okay, so let's talk about the transfer market. At least we'll talk about the big six clubs in the transfer markets.
Yeah. Yeah.
First up, let's start with Liverpool. I think they did really well. They added Thiago, they added a backup left back, Simicas, I think, and they added
Hmm.
Jota. They
Yeah.
did pretty well, I feel, in the transfer market.
Good.
As far
Yeah.
as that, pretty good. I think good quality added in key positions in defense, in midfield, in attack.
Mhm. Yeah.
Good work from Liverpool. Then there was City. City added Ruben Diaz, Ferran Torres, and who else did they add? They had one more player. I can't remember.
No, they added only two.
No, no, they added one more. Nathan Ake.
But, okay, defender. Yeah,
Nathan
yeah,
Ake.
yeah. Huh.
So again, I feel they should have gone for a striker. Right now, looking at those results and this thing, I think
Hmm.
they missed a trick by not going for. Maybe they didn't have anyone available or anything, but they had to have one more guy there because Aguero and Jesus both are out, and now it's telling.
I think Cavani would be perfect, or Suarez. I always felt Suarez would be perfect for them to just play out these 1 2 years in transition.
Would have been amazing.
But they didn't. They didn't even try. They didn't
They
even
didn't
try
even
for
try.
him.
Maybe
Yeah.
they have a lot of hope for Liam Delap, who's coming through
Yeah.
and who's played a few
Yeah.
games. Then
Yeah.
who finished third? Oh, Mane finished third. Let's talk about Manchester transfer market. They added Donny van de Beek, Edinson Cavani, Alex Telles, and Facundo Pellistri. That's the only four players
Palace.
joining now. I think Ahmad
Yeah.
Traore joins in
January,
January.
Ahmad. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ahmad will join in January.
So how do you feel
See,
about
I don't know
Manchester?
what this TS is going to do. I have no idea. I don't know how good he's from Shaw, or he can't be worse than Shaw. That's for sure.
Nobody can be worse
Uh,
than Shaw at this point
yeah,
of time.
he can't be worse. But something is missing. You just don't see Man United finishing third again with this transfer activity. It's not possible. Maybe Cavani adds few goals here and there, but there's nothing that Igalo was not doing anyways. Igalo was also scoring those goals when nobody was there. Uh, Leadership maybe, but if you're not getting a Sancho, you're not getting a big centre back, then your transfer window is not, because they needed two positions. Everybody knew that they needed two positions. One is a right wing, and one is a centre back. They didn't acknowledge it also. They're signing teenagers, and they can't expect teenagers to do anything. They're replacing Greenwood, or they're giving competition to Greenwood by signing another 17, 18-year-old kid. How does that make any sense?
So I feel like
Useless.
that was that's what I've been banging on about Manchester United, that they need a centre back, they need a centre back, they need a centre back. Every pod I've said it, and they
Yeah,
didn't even acknowledge it. That's my point, right?
yeah,
People running the team, whoever it is, Ole, Woodward, whoever the scouting department is, like, are you not even gonna talk about it that you need a centre back?
hmm.
Just be linked to someone. They haven't even been linked to anyone. This is terrible. Terrible squad planning. The centre backs right now are Eric Bailly, Harry
Hmm.
Maguire, Victor Lindelof. Then you go to Phil Jones and Marcus Rojo. Okay,
It's
and
ridiculous.
left back they have now Alex Telles, Luke Shaw, and Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
Okay, you needed a centre back, but it wasn't your most urgent need. Uh,
Hmm.
you didn't need a central midfielder. You did need a central midfielder. We were looking at
Hmm.
least Pogba forms. You desperately needed a central midfielder.
Yeah. But then I think Van de Beek is
Yeah,
there, so that's a good
Van de Beek
signing
is a
of
good
theirs.
sign. I really did think that you needed a striker. I think
Uh,
Cavani is good. Cavani brings the mentality also with him, not just
yeah.
leadership, but that mentality of working hard. He's a fighter. He does not back down
Yeah.
from a fight, so he will bring that. I think that was what was lacking in has been lacking from Manchester United for the
But
last
he's
few
old.
years.
He's old. I just don't see how he can produce those performances what we feel that
I
he
don't
did
think
at
he's not gonna do what he
29.
used to do. What he used to
Yeah.
do, he's not gonna do.
Just not even. I'm not even talking about the goals. The what you're saying, the fight. Yeah. Is
Yeah.
there any fight left in him? I
The other thing is
don't know.
he hasn't played since February. The last
Yeah.
time he played was before the lockdown in March or February. He hasn't played football for the last 7 months. He hasn't even trained for the last 7 months. Because once
Yeah.
it
So,
reopened, he refused to show up for Paris Saint-Germain because his contract was ending. He hasn't trained for the last 7 months. At least it's going to take him 1 month to get himself into football shape. At least match fit. He must have kept fit. He looks like ripped and all, but he has to at least get himself into match shape. And it
I
looks
don't see
bad.
him
It
play
looks
before
bad.
November. I
I
don't.
don't see any vision at Manchester United. It hasn't been
Yeah.
there. It's like, they are living in denial, and even fans, you are a Manchester United fan, and I see it every
Mm,
time when we talk. They
mm,
buy into any sense of hope, and I don't blame you for
yeah.
buying into any sense of hope. Like when Manchester United hired David Moyes, anybody could have said that that's not the right move. But the
Mm,
club did it, and the fans bought into it, and it was a failure. Then the club hired Louis van Gaal, and I remember telling you he's not that good.
mm,
He's past it,
mm.
and you were still, there was hope, and there's nothing else you can do as
Yeah,
a
because
football
they were
supporter.
signing, they were signing Falcao and Di Maria, so you'd be like, okay, there is some hope
There is
here, yeah.
always
But
hope, as a football fan. I'm telling you, like, there is always hope. You always hope that your team does it. Like, even at,
mm,
I remember when Barcelona were down 4-1 to Bayern Munich, I still
mm,
had that little bit of hope. Just do something, just attack them. Okay, so
yeah,
that I don't blame a football fan for having hope. But as a
yeah.
football club, you've signed Moyes. Everybody knew it was the wrong move. Everybody said it was the wrong move, but you're like, what the fuck do you know? It failed.
Yeah, because at that time Alex Ferguson was there, yeah.
I'm talking
So
about
Alex
I'm not
Ferguson,
I'm not
yeah.
talking about you. Then you signed Louis van Gaal. Everybody said, "What the fuck are you doing? It's not the right move." And again, Manchester United said, "What the fuck do you know? We know what we're doing,"
Mm,
and it
mm,
failed. Then Manchester United hired Jose Mourinho. Everybody in the world screamed that he's not the right manager for Manchester United. That football is
mm,
not good enough for Manchester United. Again, Manchester United said, "What the fuck do you know? We're gonna go ahead." Then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a caretaker manager at first, which was not bad. But then you hired him permanently, and everybody screamed that this is not the right move. This is not the right move. He's not the right manager for this club. And again, Manchester United said, "What the fuck do you know? We know what we're doing." Okay,
yeah,
same thing is happening. I feel with Cavani and not signing a centre back,
yeah.
picking up the whole Jadon Sancho transfer. It's a complete
And
cluster.
Rojo is still here, huh? In all this time,
And
Rojo is
they
still
haven't
here.
gotten they haven't gotten rid of Deadwood. Like,
Yeah,
why the fuck does every transfer, like incoming and outgoing, come down to the last fucking day of the transfer window?
yeah.
I
That's
don't
how
understand.
bad they are. Yeah.
Like, Chris Smalling wanted to leave for fucking 2 months. He said, "I want to go back to Roma. I don't want to stay here." They
Yeah.
just didn't let him leave for 2 months. Why? Why
No,
do you still have three left backs? You have Luke Shaw.
and
You have
hashtag Pochettino is still free. He's still free, yeah.
like,
He's
it
right
was
there.
so fucking obvious the hire Pochettino.
Yeah.
Not even like after he got sacked, but before, like once Ole had
Yeah.
done that 3 months, Ole could leave with his head held high. I got to the Champions League quarterfinals. I did
Yeah.
this, I did whatever I could, and Ole could hold his head up high, and he could have gotten a championship job or a smaller level Premier League job, and you go for Pochettino, who would have come at that point, because the relationship between Spurs and Pochettino had broken down by that
Had
point.
broken, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a complete chance that you could get Pochettino, but you didn't move again. Then time it happened before also when Louis van Gaal was almost as good as gone, and I think Klopp was available at that time.
Yeah.
Everybody was
Tottenham.
saying that you go for Klopp
Yeah.
right now, but instead Liverpool did that move. But
Yeah. And
consider
that's now Man United is just hoping for a miracle. Like how Liverpool just got a miracle. Yeah. Liverpool just got Klopp. They tried manager again and again and again and again. They just stumbled upon Klopp. There was no actual planning or something to get him, but they just got him and it worked. Now Man United is also waiting for something like that.
I
They
think
have to go and get.
they just do, like, this is okay. Everybody says this is the right move. No, we're gonna do this. Everybody
Yeah.
says this is the right move. No, what the fuck do they know? We're gonna do this. And sometimes it does work. Sometimes, but when you're consistently making the wrong move, you have to ask
Hmm.
yourself that who's making these decisions, and the guy making these decisions is making the wrong decisions. You cannot deny it now. Year after year after year, if you're making the
And
wrong
no repercussions at all. Whatever happens, except the
decision,
manager, nothing happens. Nothing
nothing changes.
changes.
7 years,
Yeah.
almost 800 million pounds is the net spend. Okay,
Yeah.
which is nothing for Manchester United. They make so much money. Like, you're spending 110 million net every year. Okay, in COVID times, it's not that much, but even for the Manchester, 800 million pounds is okay. 110 million pounds, considering the amount of money they make, it's fine for
Yeah.
them. Okay, they can afford it. You have no excuse that the
No
club is
excuse.
not run well. You can say
Yeah.
that Ole is not getting what he wants,
Hmm.
but Ole is not talking about it. At least with Mourinho, the relationship broke down in the third season when
Hmm.
Mourinho did not get what he wanted. He wanted a centre back. He did not get what he wants. He was clearly open
Hmm.
about it. That I want. I think he wanted Alderweireld or Vertonghen, one of them,
Yeah.
and
One of
said,
them
"I want
is.
a centre back. I've been screaming about centre backs for
Otherwise,
2 years." One of those two guys, yeah, he wanted, and he could not get. He's he made a point to be known that this is not what I want, and I'm not getting it. Ole is, I think, what the fuck is Ole doing, man?
Puppet. They got
He
a
is a
puppet. They
puppet.
wanted a puppet. They got a puppet. Yeah.
Like you can say that Barcelona appointed Pep. Like Pep won the treble in his first season. Okay, if Pep
Hmm.
had done what Ole has done at Manchester
He
United,
would
he
be
would have
sacked.
been
He would
sacked.
be sacked. Yeah.
Everybody gets sacked. It's not
Any top club, what Ole is doing, he would be sacked by now. Any top club.
So yeah, Manchester
Sari
United
got sacked
after getting Champions League,
after getting Champions
he
League
got
and winning
third
FA Cup.
and
Yeah,
winning
yeah.
the FA Cup. He got sacked.
Yeah. Europa? I think he won Europa also.
I think he reached the final and lost.
No, he won Europa. Sari won Europa, yeah?
Ah,
He got
yeah,
sacked after losing. Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah.
beat Emery. He beat Emery in the finals.
Win every year. Yes.
Yes.
And he
Fuck.
and he got sacked. Not good enough.
Those are the
Because
finals, but
Lampard is very severe.
yeah, I think the sack is coming for Lampard because I don't think if those are standards Chelsea, and I don't think he's holding up. Then the fourth place team was Chelsea, who had an amazing transfer window. I think they should have signed a defender, but apart from that, I don't think Frank Lampard can complain. He's got everything he wanted, everything he kept his finger on. They
Amazing.
went and got for him. It's a super
Amazing.
transfer
Amazing.
window.
And soon. And soon. They got Ben
Yeah, on
Chilwell
time.
as soon as possible. They got Werner as soon as possible. They got Havertz as soon as possible. He can't complain here. He can't complain. Hudson
I
Odoi
think
is looking amazing.
they did everything they had to do, and they had it planned. They executed it quickly.
Yeah.
I think that's an A plus transfer window. I think the best transfer window of this season was by Chelsea.
Yes.
I don't agree with
And
this.
at the end, they got a goalkeeper also.
They always had him in plan. That's what Edward meant. Like once Oblak, it became quite apparent that they can't get Oblak. That was their choice. They're going to go for Edward Mendy, and they got him. Maybe he's not good. Maybe he is good, but that is the club's decision. But everything that Frank Lampard wants, he's gotten.
He's got, yeah.
Okay.
So Kepa didn't go anywhere.
No,
He's
he's still
stuck at
there.
Chelsea.
Yeah, he's going to play in the FA Cup, right?
Yeah. No, he's going to take his big fat salary. He's not going to get that anywhere else.
No way.
So
I think
yeah,
they'll
so
have
he's
to
going
loan him
to
out.
take
They'll
that.
have to loan him out to some Spanish club like Villarreal or Athletic Bilbao or
Yeah.
Sevilla and pay half his salary for him to
And
go.
then 2 years ke baad he'll go in free.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen because it's a failure. It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of clubs.
It happens.
It
And
happens to the best.
after long, I think more than a decade, Chelsea has got their goalkeeper wrong. It's their scouting for goalkeepers was
I
always
feel
amazing.
their recruitment has been amazing over the last
Yeah.
decade. They've recruited really,
KDB,
really well.
Salah, Hazard,
Yeah,
everybody they have got.
everything.
Yes.
Superb recruitment they've done for the last 10
Yeah.
years. Then Arsenal signed Thomas Partey, and who did they sign? Who was this Arsenal sign? I think they signed Thomas and they signed Gabriel. So yeah, two good
Yeah.
signings for Arsenal. They address and they signed Willian also.
Yeah.
So
Million they signed. Yeah.
So they addressed everything. I think good transfer window for Arsenal. We talked about
Yeah, but their ceiling is fifth, I feel. That is what they've signed for. They've signed for fifth. They haven't signed for being champions.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think they signed for top four also. I don't think they're
Yeah.
getting into the top four. Then
Yeah, no
Spurs,
worries.
we talked about Spurs signings. They signed well. They signed Reguilon. They signed Bale. They signed Højbjerg. They signed
Yeah.
Carlos Vinicius on loan. I think maybe a centre back. They could have added a centre back, but apart from that, they did well. These are the top 6 teams. Any other team that you feel had a good transfer window?
Yes, Everton.
Everton,
had a
Everton,
great-
yes. Everton had a
Yes.
super transfer window. They added James, and they added Ben Godfrey now, and they added Allen,
Allen.
and they added Abdullah Doucouré. Everything that
And they got rid of I think 10 players. They got rid of 10 players. That's the most important thing. Squad trimming is very important.
which I had on my to-do things when we were talking about Manchester United.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Forget it. I don't want to
so
talk
big
about
how much Manchester United fuck up. It's so big.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Yeah.
got rid of all that. I think Carlo Ancelotti is Carlo Ancelotti. He's one of the best managers in the history of the
Yeah.
game. At least in the last
True.
30 years, he's one of the best managers. Like when Jose
Yes.
Mourinho acknowledges that you are as good as in his class, with the man
Yeah.
of Jose Mourinho's ego acknowledges that you are as good a manager as he is, then you
Yeah.
are supposedly really good. He's won everywhere he's been. At least whenever he
And
goes,
ultimately
he's
he knows what he's doing. He's going to achieve that, and then he leave quietly. He leaves. He does his job and he leaves. That's it. That's Ancelotti.
I think
So
super manager. So and
yeah.
good recruitment. I feel I like watching Everton also. That there's this team. It's fun to watch. It's
Because James is there.
yeah,
James is making it happen. James is very
yeah.
enjoyable to watch.
It's
He's
it's
very
a
good.
fun team to watch.
Yeah,
I think Wolves. I want to talk about Wolves after this.
yeah.
I think Wolves had a really good transfer window, very under the radar. They signed Semedo. They signed Fabio Silva. I think that's his name. Fabio Silva, the 40 million
Shabbos, yeah,
striker.
yeah,
And they signed Ryan Aith-Nouri. Ryan Aith-Nouri, I want to talk about, which like it hasn't been reported at all, but they signed this left back from France. This guy
okay.
is the like at least one of the top three best left back prospects in the world. Ryan Aith-Nouri. Uh, and even Fabio Silva is one of the best rated prospects in the world. Semedo
Yeah.
comes from Barcelona. I think this team is gonna become something really good in the over the next 2 3 years. I think they have a long term plan. I don't think
Yeah.
this year they're gonna be like top six or anything, but I think in the future Bulls are here to stay. They're not a flash in the
Because like
pan.
we discussed in our pod before, they don't integrate the players so soon.
Yes,
These players will take time, 1 year to come in.
1 year to come. I think
And but they lost Jota, so this year immediately they're going to suffer because Jota was providing them
well, here's the
good
thing. I think
good outlet in the back.
they had planned for Jota to leave because they had already signed Podence and Pedro Neto last year itself, and now you're seeing
Last
them
year.
being integrated into the team. Okay, so I think the
And Neto
only
is doing well also.
I think you can see they've signed Fabio Silva for 40 million, and
Yeah,
I think next year Jimenez will leave because this year they're going to integrate Fabio Silva and see
yeah,
how good he is. At least in
yeah,
training, I don't think we see much of him in matches.
yeah.
And again, the Ryan Aith-Nouri is they've signed in. I think Johnny Castro will play out the season rotating with Ryan Aith-Nouri. I think the only first team ready player they signed was Nelson Semedo, who's
Yeah.
gone straight into the team.
Because
Apart
they,
from
they, they had to replace Doherty, yeah, who
they had to
was
replace Doherty.
integral to them.
But apart from
Yeah.
that, they had already planned this. They had planned that Jota is going to leave. They had already signed Podence and Neto. I think they thought that maybe Adama Traore was also going to leave, but Adama
Hmm.
Traore has stayed, and that's what I think they're planning. They're a year ahead in their planning. They've done a superb
Yeah.
window. I'm
No,
really
Nuno is
excited.
good. Nuno
No,
is
he's
good.
a superman. I love how they play, man. They play so
Yeah.
aggressive. They play like they've come for a fight, and they come for a fight, but they come to play attacking football. They've come for a fight,
Yeah.
not to just defend with 10 men. They've come to
Defend,
fight,
yeah, yeah.
but to play, attack as well. So I
But
love their
something is
style of
wrong.
football.
Something is wrong in their play also. There some intensity is low. Maybe these every there are too many games. You just don't feel they are flowing the way they used to flow last year. Because I follow them a lot for fantasy. They are fantasy gold mine. All their players, their fullbacks, their midfielders who score a lot of goals.
Yeah.
They are actually a gold mine, but we are not getting the returns what we thought we will get
I
from
mean,
them.
I think they're gonna get better as the season goes along. I saw them
Yeah,
playing against Fulham. I think amazing. They just scored one goal, but the way they play, I really love it. I love how they attack. I
yeah,
really like their style. I think Nuno Espirito Santo is a super manager. And
super
apart from
manager.
that, Aston Villa, I think Aston Villa looked really good. They had a decent window. They added Barkley, Watkins, and I think I did Ezri Konsa. Who was Ezri
Yeah,
Konsa there last year? I don't know. I don't remember seeing him last year.
I think he was there. I think he
And
was there.
the right back, Matty Cash, also looked good. But again, they're in a good moment, so everything looked good. But Barkley looked really good against
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Barkley is always. I always like Barkley.
He added so much energy, and
Uh,
I think it frees up Grealish to do Grealish stuff. Like
yes.
Barkley does the box to box thing, and Grealish. I
Yeah.
thought Grealish was amazing against.
And Barkley will keep providing those late runs in the
Yeah,
box. And he has a good finish on him also. It's a good signing. Even Loftus Cheek went to
Fulham.
West Brom,
No, Loftus
Fulham,
went to
Fulham,
Fulham.
Fulham, yeah, Fulham.
Yeah,
So we can keep an eye on him because I really like him also. So what Chelsea has done is they have removed both of their number eights. So like backup number eights. So it's clear that they are going to build the team around Havertz in the long run because these both are young players. There's no
then
doubt because
Loftus Cheek
they were
left,
never
and who
going to get
else
it.
left?
Barkley,
Oh yeah, Barkley also left. Yeah.
Barkley.
Hmm.
So they left both. So it's clear that they are going to build a team around Havertz in midfield at least. So Havertz is going to play the
Look, so far I've not been
yeah
impressed. So far I've
yes,
not been
that's what
impressed
I
with
was
him.
getting at. That they have put their eggs in that basket. We'll see if it works or no.
I feel they just blocked Mason Mount's path. They're putting Havertz there in that position.
Yeah.
Because I thought Mason Mount, even still when I watch Chelsea play, I think Mason Mount looks the better player than Havertz. At least in that
So
system, playing for
Mason
that.
Mount had an amazing first season with Chelsea. Okay,
Hmm.
he could only do better, and then they put Havertz in front of him. So it's obviously blocking their
Makes no sense to
progress.
me. I don't like what they've done. At least I like Havertz as a player. I've been following him from
Yeah.
Leverkusen for a few seasons. He's really good, but he's very good as a second striker. Like he's so playing as a 10 or almost like a 9.5. He plays like a nine
Okay.
and a half second striker. He makes those deep runs. Uh, you know, uh, and they're playing him. I think in his wrong position. I don't think that's his
Yeah,
position. So deep
they're
in the,
playing him as a playmaker, as a pure playmaker over there, and
I think
I
he's
don't know.
I think he's a decent passer. He's a decent passer of the ball, but he's much better as a his movement is much better. He's in Germany. He was at least much better with his movement and coming off the second striker, making those second runs and scoring goals. So I'm not sure what the plan is.
Chelsea has a problem of too many over there. Where will Mount play when Ziyech comes back? Where is Pulisic going to play? Hudson Odoi is on their ass. Others he's going to leave. The only reason he played last game was because Bayern was after their ass. If he wouldn't have played that game, he would have asked to leave for Bayern. So where are all these players going to play?
I don't
I
understand.
just
Like
don't see it. Yeah.
Werner, Abraham,
Werner has
Pulisic,
been
Ziyech.
shunted to the left now.
So where does Ziyech and
Abraham is playing.
Pulisic play, and where does Havertz play, and where does Mason Mount
Yeah,
play?
yeah, yeah.
Just
That.
too many players. The
Yeah,
last team transfer window was I want to talk about Leeds. I thought we actually talked about Leeds. I thought
yeah,
they acknowledged all their weaknesses. I think they could
yeah.
have signed a midfielder more, but they acknowledged all their weaknesses, whatever they needed, and they
Yeah,
added.
Bielsa's vision is very clear that this is the profile player I want, and this is the profile player I'll get. However low the name is, or however the big the name is, he doesn't care. It is just that this is what I want. If I want a left foot player who passes this way, this type of football, that is what I want.
And I
If I
want
get a
nothing.
tackle
I
from,
want nothing else. If I can't get that player, forget. I'll just use someone from the academy. And
I'll use somebody
otherwise, if you
exactly.
can get me this, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I think you hit.
If that player is doing 3 tackles a game, then I want that player. If that player is doing 7 tackles a game, then I want that player. It's so detailed. So I think Leeds is on the right path. If they keep Bielsa for another 2 3 seasons, Leeds will be back. I'm
Yeah,
not saying they'll try to compete for the title or anything, but Leeds will be back as a team. As a football club.
I think I've heard the CEO and the owner talk about it. They have ambition. They're not here to just be and just survive. They will say that this year the target is to survive, and they keep saying that. But I don't think that is the target. That's never been the
Yeah,
target. The vision is always to become what Leeds were. And if you go to
yeah.
see historically, Leeds are a top six club. In terms of
Top six.
stature, in terms of this,
Yeah,
they're a
yeah,
top six Premier League club. They're a bigger club than obviously like the last 20 years Tottenham have pulled away. But
yeah,
when they got relegated, they were a bigger club than Spurs. Like I saw a table,
yeah,
the all-time Premier League table. They've been missing for 16 years.
yeah.
For out of the 28 seasons, they've been missing for 16. They played just 12 seasons in the Premier League, and they still had like the 10th or ninth highest points in Premier League history. So
Yeah.
that's what the
They
last 12 years they were. They were a consistent top five, top six, sometimes coming top three club, and that's why they want to go. So I think they're
I
on the
think
right
yeah,
track.
their ambition is to first be consistently top 10, like two
Yeah.
three seasons top 10. Then one season maybe they fluke it to 6 5 or 6 or 7 or something,
I
and
think
they build on that.
I think the intention is to grow every season, get better,
Yeah,
grow, and I think the signings reflect that. They haven't gone for stopgaps or they haven't gone for incredibly young
yeah,
players. They've
yeah,
gone for mostly established first team players, guys who are already established in first team in other leagues, top clubs.
yeah.
They signed Rafinha from Rennes, who was the Champions League team. They were going to play Champions League this season. They signed Koch from Freiburg, which is a mid-table club but he was a regular
Mhm.
starter. He's a starter for Germany.
Yeah.
And
So
then
you have to understand that they are a relegated team who just came in the Premier League. If they're getting established players from mid-table teams or Champions League teams, that is going to make them better. That is
exactly
going to make them better.
that's what I was going to. Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think they're doing whatever the vision is. They're acknowledging it and they're going about it the right way. Exactly
yeah.
the opposite of what Manchester United is doing. Okay.
Fuck Man United.
I don't mean that as I think there's no secret that I don't like Manchester United, but
Yeah,
I'm just talking as a neutral. Like whatever Manchester United is doing right now is not the right way to run that club. Okay,
Yeah.
so
And when the fans come back, yeah, Leeds is
yeah,
going to be a different animal again.
I agree
It's
because they've been
yeah,
deprived, man. They've been deprived. The fans have been deprived
yeah,
of the stadium.